Most tyre shop customers ask one thing first: what's your cheapest tyre? And that question is exactly where many people unknowingly lose money. Because the cheapest tyre often becomes the most expensive decision later. Faster wear, poor grip in rain, more replacements. Understanding this can completely change how customers choose tyres. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why cheap tyres can cost more over time, how tyre shops explain the difference, and how a simple 3-option strategy helps customers make smarter decisions. Stay with this, because one small explanation can completely change a buying decision. Tyres are something most drivers rarely think about until they need replacing. To many customers, a tyre is just black rubber that gets the car moving again. So naturally, price becomes the only thing they focus on. But here's the problem. Not all tyres perform the same, and they definitely don't last the same amount of time. A tyre that is £15 cheaper might wear out months earlier. That means the driver ends up replacing it sooner, paying for fitting again, and losing time returning to the shop. This is where most people misunderstand value. They think they're saving money today, but they're simply bringing the next bill closer. Cheap tyres often wear faster. The rubber compound is usually softer or less durable, which means the tread disappears quicker. Then comes another issue: wet grip. When roads are wet, tyre quality matters a lot more. Lower quality tyres often take longer to stop and may feel less stable when braking. That's something drivers usually notice only after installing them. And then there's noise. Many budget tyres generate more road noise, which becomes frustrating during longer drives. These small issues lead to complaints, returns, and arguments at the counter. But here's the important part. Customers aren't wrong for asking for the cheapest tyre. They simply don't know the difference. Most drivers have never been taught how tyres work, why prices vary, or how lifespan changes between brands. And that means the role of the tyre shop isn't to push expensive products. The role is to explain clearly. This is where most tyre shops either win trust or lose it. If a mechanic starts talking about complicated tyre ratings, compounds, and technical details, the customer gets confused. Instead, simple language works far better. Something like this: "This one costs a little more, but it lasts longer and stops better in the rain." That single sentence immediately explains value. And when customers understand value, price stops being the only factor. Here's something no one talks about in tyre sales. The way options are presented changes the decision completely. A very effective approach used by successful tyre shops is the 3-option method. Instead of showing just one tyre, present 3. First, the budget option. This is the cheapest tyre available, and it's honest to explain that it may not last as long. Second, the mid-range option. This is usually the best balance between price and durability. Third, the premium option. This tyre normally lasts the longest, provides better grip, and is quieter. Something interesting happens when customers see these 3 choices. Most people don't choose the cheapest. They also don't choose the most expensive. They choose the middle. Why? Because the middle option feels safe. It feels balanced. And when explained properly, it often provides the best value for everyday drivers. This simple structure also removes pressure. The customer feels like they are choosing freely rather than being sold to. Now, let's talk about another powerful technique that builds trust quickly. Real-world examples. Customers relate far better to everyday situations than technical data. Instead of saying a tyre has a certain rating, say something practical. For example, "This one usually lasts about a year longer." Or, "We see fewer punctures with this brand." Or even, "Taxi drivers often pick this one because it holds up well with high mileage." These small examples make the explanation believable. And when customers believe what they hear, they stop arguing about price. Here's where many tyre shops make a mistake. They try to win the sale by being the cheapest. But competing only on price creates constant problems. Lower profit, more complaints, and less loyalty. Trust, on the other hand, builds long-term customers. When drivers feel they were guided honestly, they remember that shop the next time they need tyres. And they often recommend it to others. So let me ask you something. When you replace tyres, Do you usually pick the cheapest option first? Or do you think about how long the tyre will actually last? Another question. Have you ever bought a cheap tyre that wore out much faster than expected? Many drivers have experienced this at least once. The key lesson here is simple. Cheap doesn't always mean affordable. Sometimes paying slightly more today prevents paying again much sooner. So, here are the practical takeaways. First, understand that tyre price usually reflects durability, grip, and noise levels. Second, focus on lifespan, not just purchase price. Third, when choosing tyres, compare 3 options instead of just one. And finally, listen to real-world advice from experienced tyre shops who see how different tyres perform every day. When drivers understand these small differences, they make smarter choices and avoid unnecessary costs later. So, the next time someone asks, "What's your cheapest tyre?" the better question might actually be, "What tyre gives the best value for how I drive?" Because the real goal isn't to spend the least today, it's to spend less over time. If practical tips like this help you make smarter decisions, subscribe for more straightforward advice that saves money and avoids common mistakes. And share your experience in the comments. Have cheap tyres ever cost you more in the long run? If you run a tyre shop, garage, or mobile tyre fitting van, and you're fed up calling around for stock or losing jobs because tyres aren't available, TyreRoom is a trade-only tyre wholesaler built to make your life easier. Check availability instantly on our website or the TyreRoom app with budget, mid-range, and premium tyres all in one place. Plus, fast delivery backed by our 100% money-back guarantee. TyreRoom is trusted by tyre businesses across the UK. Open a free TyreRoom wholesale account today. The link is in the description. TyreRoom, built for garages, trusted by traders.